Okay, this report's by TD, so it's not by us, it's by TD. Let's preface that. It says too far, too fast. TD Bank report warns policymakers need to keep up with immigration surge as it affects the economy. Canada's record-setting immigration is a necessary remedy to the country's labor shortage and aging population. But a new report from TD warns that there may be a knock-on effects if policymakers don't ensure that economic and social infrastructures is able to keep up with the growth. While population growth is a good thing, TD economists said in the report the benefits erode if it occurs too fast relatively to a country's ability to plan and absorb new entrants within the economic and social infrastructures. If Canada continues to have annual population growth of 1 million or more people, TD estimates the housing shortfall, or the gap between supply and demand, could reach 500,000 units by 2025 as growth collides with downswing in the housing construction. It's pretty crazy.
The downswing, we always mention the downswing in housing construction, but
we don't talk about with housing construction is I know there's a labor shortage, so it's important,
right.
But also housing construction isn't feasible right now because rates are so high. That's what people need to also consider too. Yes. Although we might need immigrants to come in and help us build, and skilled immigrants too, there's also the high rates is also holding people back from building more units too. So
when I lived in North Oakville, I remember knowing where the government housing was. Government housing was like something I think you knew, but you don't see any new government housing being built.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a common thing. And then you think about the single moms or, whatever the case may be, that need subsidized rent because they have larger families, maybe more kids. The wait time is like 15 years or something. It's insane.
Yeah.
So the government housing, when they bought pieces of land like that, there's still a ton of land. Go north of Dundas, there's tons. Why aren't those being?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like, why is the government not getting involved in building?
I don't even get why. But I mean, a block of townhouses, you solve 20 people's problem, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to be at scale.
But why doesn't the government build more apartments or something like that? Because they can print
the building. They're all old.
They can print money. Yeah, they can print money.
Print money.
Yeah, we know that.
We've seen that.
So why not fund these government kind of housing condo apartments for people, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a thought, because right now it's all developers, and developers, you have to incentivize a developer to build. They have to be making a profit. They have to pay a lot of people. There's a lot of risk involved.
Yeah.
So that has to be something where it's a capitalistic game. But at the end of the day, that's what we need. We need a free market so people do build. And if developers aren't building, why doesn't the government step in and start talking about building homes for maybe less fortunate people, or like you said,
I'm seeing now all these little tiny homes and mobile homes and like 155,000
laneway homes.
Home Depot. They're actually pretty cute. I feel like those might come into style a little bit.
Yeah, I think the big thing though with those is like you have to set up, the hydro, the electrical. Like it ends up being a lot more expensive than what people actually think.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of getting into a land lease and stuff like that. But I mean, if you made it attractive enough, you could get people doing it. But the mobile home.
So immigration, obviously, and historically has been a very good thing for our economy.
For sure, yeah.
That last year's numbers were astronomical. But if you look at the aging population of the baby boomers, this year and the next couple of years, our baby boomers are retiring. That is a significant portion of our jobs, the baby boomers.
Yeah.
So I see where those numbers came from. We halted immigration during COVID, and then we increased because we halted. And with the aging population, to fill those jobs, like we don't want job vacancies. So I see where it came from, but not having the solution on the other end is obviously the problem. So I guess this guy now, having done that, moving to being now the housing minister, will be interesting to see, and like his next move on what his solution.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's against immigration. I think it's an important thing to state, is that it's just like, what's the plan for it? Like, how can we make it so our economy doesn't have so much pressure in both the economic and social aspects of Canada? Like, how do we make it, what's the plan other than just letting over 1 million people when we have a housing supply crisis, we have a healthcare crisis. Like, I think we talked on this podcast before, is that even doctors are coming here and they're working in retail or something like that. Like, why, if we have a shortage in doctors, and I'm not an expert on this in any way, but it just seems like it's pretty black and white. Like, why are they not getting their applications accepted to become a doctor. Why are they working in retail?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting sort of.
I don't even have anything to comment on that. It kind of boggles my mind.
Yeah, it does.
Hearing that stat, the people that are so educated and came here for an education and end up not even close to where they thought they would be.
That was one of our best viewed videos too.
It's insane. And I think a lot of people have gone through it, especially people that
real life stories.
Real life stories. Reading those comments of they came here for education because Canada's education system is supposed to be one of the elite, right? Top, however many in the world.
Yeah, Canada's really safe too.
Exactly. And then that not being as useful as you would think, or even a doctor's starting out salary, how much you're taxed.
Yeah. I think in Ontario, they make about 200,000 as a doctor.
Okay, and so you're giving 53%, plus you're paying 13% HST,
Yeah,
plus every carbon tax, gas tax. Like 70% is what you should expect.
Yeah.
And then take home, what's 30% of 260 grand now afford a house for you and your family. Your mortgage is over $5,000 a month. Now you have nothing.
Yeah. You're renting.
And you're a doctor.
Yeah. Ooh. That's eerie.
That is